everybody. Welcome to Releaf by Generosity Samus,
Lily Edivis.
Alex Penfield.
And Figgy Coppin.
So, I'm Argentinian, and in my family, mate has always been more than just a drink. It's a cultural ritual, and in Argentina especially, mate is about connection, sharing, and using what you have with intention. So when our group started working with Mate Party, I learned that tons of new mate leaves were being thrown out every week. It hit me a little personally, and this isn't just a waste issue to me. It is about respecting a plant that represents culture, community, and care.
This is the problem that we've identified from Mate Party. There is a huge amount of used tea leaves, especially from beverage companies like Mate Party. They end up going to waste. Once the leaves are brewed, most companies don't have a simple or effective way to reuse them. They're too wet, too heavy, and processing for composting can be very inconsistent, so they often just get thrown out. This means a valuable organic material is being treated like garbage, even though it still has the potential to become something useful. When the companies have no clear reuse pathway, the default becomes disposable, which creates unnecessary environmental impact and extra labor. So the core challenge we are trying to figure out is, how can we transform these leaves into something new instead of letting them go to waste?
So this next slide is about Mate Party, the company that we've been working with. And as mentioned earlier, they produce a lot of used mate leaves. Right now, their system for getting rid of that waste is unreliable and inefficient. The composting process they use ends up being complicated and also too expensive to be considered a viable option. Mate Party wants solutions that reflects their core values, caring for the planet, minimizing impact, and finding creative ways to repurpose what they already have.
Here we can see a prototype image of our incense cone designed with these leaf-inspired indentations that serve as a visual representation of the incense's origin. This idea opens a new sensory dimension for mate companies to explore beyond taste. Plain mate leaves produce these woody, smoky, floral, citrusy, and spicy notes that result from the naturally occurring chemical compounds within the plant. All of these scents translate extremely well into incense form. This allows companies to have the freedom to create scents that align with their current line of products, like a drink flavor that also has its own incense flavor, or even like standalone incense blends. This product lets mate companies take a burdensome waste product and transform it into a profitable asset. It reinforces their commitment to sustainability while also allowing them to create a new product line with super low material costs. And for customers, the incense becomes more than just a fragrance item. It's a way to support a brand that prioritizes environmental responsibility, a small but meaningful way to act on your values.
Okay, moving on, we have our evidence slide. This quote from our interview really shaped the direction of our project, so I thought it would be really important to show it here. Quote, "Our incentives don't come from our customers. Our pursuit of environmentally friendly options comes from our core values to take care of our planet, no matter who does or does not support it." This tells us that Mate Party's commitment to sustainability isn't performative. It's genuinely rooted in who they are. This conversation was the first spark that indicated to us that our idea aligns directly with their values and could realistically fit into their mission.
Here are the issues with waste removal. Currently, the prevalent issues with waste removal are that there is about $500 per month being spent on removing the waste from the facilities. This not only goes into extra budget considerations, but it also goes against our sustainability practices because this product is being transferred in plastic packaging. It also just feels wasteful when you could be doing something way more useful with this material instead, and it makes finding a reuse pathway for this spent yerba mate both economically beneficial and environmentally necessary. Here we see the estimated costs for the production of Releaf yerba mate leaf incense. The materials would cost roughly around $4 per box, and if we sold each one for $15, that would leave us with a profit of $11, leaving us with a profit margin of 74%. If we additionally take into account the money that we save from waste removal each month, which is about $500, our net profit would increase from about $3,300 to $3,800 per 300 boxes.
For this slide, we're showing the different types of companies we identified as potential production partners. Since Mate Party doesn't want to manufacture the incense themselves, we look for local businesses that already work with natural materials herbal products, or small batch manufacturing. First, we have incense makers and craft fragrance studios, who specialize in pressing cones and sticks. These companies already have the equipment and experience needed for shaping and curing incense. Next are herbal processors and botanical supply companies, who can handle drying, grinding, and preparing the used mate leaves so they're ready for production. We also included eco-friendly product manufacturers, small local studios that focus on sustainable goods, and might be open to white label production. All of these partners could help transform the used mate leaves into a finished incense product, depending on their capabilities and interest in small batch collaboration.
So we started with a simple question. How can we stop these leaves from going to waste? But for me, it also comes back to what mate means culturally. Connection, care, and using what you have with intention. By giving these leaves a second life, we are honoring that tradition while creating something new, sustainable, and meaningful.
And that's what our solution is really about.
Thank you so much.
Breathe better, live